This is another Characters and Cravings. I actually made it to 2. I did not think I was going to follow through. So I am proud of myself and I'm looking forward to talking about Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I figured Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain, Love Hypothesis, it's kind of a trilogy, so let's just do all 3 at once. Today we're going to be talking about B, and I do not know how to pronounce her last name, so I'm not even gonna try. And she is a vegetarian. So let's talk about veggies. Veggies are considered to be one of the best foods for diabetics because they're full of fiber, they have no carbs, it slows down sugar absorption. It's a great food all around. It should be everything a diabetic wants, but I've been to vegetarian all-you-can-eats with my grandmother in Taiwan, and I've noticed that they are very carb heavy. It's like they're trying to replace meat with carbs. So a lot of bread, a lot of pastries, a lot of flaky foods, a lot of rice. When it comes to a strict vegetarian diet, I don't think it's for me. But when it comes to veggies, yes, absolutely. So if I were to stick to a vegetarian diet in the sense that I only eat fruits and vegetables, I would probably have perfect blood sugar, but at what cost? Most vegetarians I know, they love to eat pasta, they love to eat bread, they love to eat chocolate even, including the character I'm going to talk about today, B from Love on the Brain. B is so cool. She is who I wanted to be when I was 16. She's very confident. She has a super cool job working at NASA, and she dyes her hair all these crazy colors. I remember I wanted to dye my hair purple in high school. I think everyone went through that phase where they wanted like a purple streak in their hair or like a pink streak like Arya from Pretty Little Liars.
So I've prepared some snacks here. My goal is low carbs, and most vegetarian snacks were actually not as low carb as I thought they were going to be, but I did go to a bakery called No Sugar, No Problem here in Edmonton, and I found a couple options here. I'm going to try the chocolate first. The chocolate, it's a peanut butter cup, and it was only like 3.5 net carbs per chocolate. I took 6 units of insulin to prepare for my snacking today, since they are a little more sugary than the snacks compared to last time. It really tastes like a peanut butter cup. If anything, this is more chocolatey than a peanut butter cup. It's really good.
B has had a pretty unstable childhood. She lost her parents at a really young age. She moved around a lot as a kid between distant relatives. And fun fact about me, between the ages of, I think, 18 and 23, I moved once or twice a year in that period of time. Like, I never stayed anywhere for more than a year, and it was stressful, so I can't imagine having to deal with that as a young child. Having that much instability in your life, it really emphasizes your need for control. I think in our heads, if we can't control one thing, that's fine. We'll just spend an unhealthy amount of emotional energy on trying to control something else. For me, it's food, and for B, it's her appearance. Do you remember she dyed her hair purple? And dyeing your hair at home, I've never done it, but I don't think it's an easy thing. She talked about how her entire shower was stained purple, and that seems like a lot of work. I also think her appearance it's such a foil to her job. It's so unlike what you would typically think of in a NASA scientist. So if you were to picture someone working at NASA, what immediately pops into my head is she uses the term STEM Lord, wearing t-shirt, jeans, maybe like a zip-up hoodie. And B is not like that at all. She loves color. She loves to put color into her clothes. That first day she started at NASA, she wore black skinny jeans, a red polka dot top. She put her hair in Dutch braids. Oh, I should have put my hair in Dutch braids. That would have been so good for this video. She even got in trouble with Levi over her appearance. I actually kind of like it when people just think of me as a stereotypical stay-at-home mom, because I like surprising them when I tell them, actually, I love to read smut and I love to read Pride and Prejudice, and I listen to Science Versus podcasts, and I love to go to raves. Basically, I hate being put in a box because I don't just want to be one thing. We talked about how B had a very unstable childhood, moving between relatives, and now that she's an adult, she wants to stay in one place. And I get that. I definitely get that. But her sister, Reiki, she is the opposite of B. She loves to travel. She loves to be in faraway places. She never stays in one place for very long. And having family be far away from you is so hard. I can 100% relate to that. I don't have any immediate family from my side living here in Edmonton. I have family in Toronto, I have family in Vancouver, I have family in Taiwan. It's a lot of early FaceTime calls and calculating how many hours ahead the other person is. It's using your vacation days to go visit family, and it's watching your nieces and nephews grow up on a screen, and sometimes it's lonely. Even though I have a beautiful family here and 5 animals living in this house, it can still get really lonely sometimes. The reason why it's still lonely sometimes is because my sister is the only one who knows me before I became this person, this version of myself. She changed my diapers, she took me trick-or-treating, and there is nobody in the world that knows me like her. To be away from a person like that 96% of the time, it's just so hard. Every meetup needs to be planned. There's no, hey, can I just drop by and watch Pursuit of Jade with you? That's the show I'm currently watching on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I absolutely recommend it. It's so good. So there's not really many people around me that know who I was like before I became a mom. And just like I said before, I don't want to be put in a box. I love being a mom, but that's not the only thing I am. And I wish that there were more people around me who knew that. I did some research as to why sometimes I feel these pangs of loneliness. We are reading a STEM romantic novel after all, and it's because of this thing called alloparenting. So humans were not designed to parent on our own. We're not designed to parent with one other person even. We're supposed to be parenting in groups of people. We've all heard it takes a village. So I guess these pangs of loneliness I'm feeling are just my ancestors telling me that I'm doing it wrong, maybe. Science would prefer I say biology is maybe telling me that I'm not wired to be parenting on my own, that I miss my sister because back in the day, we would be taking care of our kids together. I can't wait for my sister to come visit me after the baby is born. The feeling I get when my sister tells me, oh, your baby is so cute. It's different. It's very different from when other people tell me my baby is cute. She's also the person I turn to when the hormones are just too much and I can't talk to my husband because his face makes me want to punch it. And it's not his fault. He'll never understand what it's like to have a child growing inside you, how uncomfortable it is, how there's always that looming fear of when the baby comes out. Like, he'll never understand that, and my sister can, and I miss having her around right now. B loves kids. She made that very clear. I just hope that her dreams of white picket fences and kids running around the backyard doesn't get shattered by the trauma of pregnancy and childbirth. And if she gets diabetes like me, then she can say goodbye to her brownies and her donuts and her cupcakes and her tacos.
I was really hoping to find vegan cupcakes, But all the vegan ones I found, again, were a little higher in carbs than I wanted. So I did find this low carb peanut butter chocolate cupcake with raspberry filling. That is only 4 net carbs, which is kind of insane. It's really crumbly. I think I need a plate. I wish my stomach was just a little bigger so I could rest it there, but no, it's not quite big enough yet. So I'm just gonna make do and I'll clean up the mess afterwards. This looks so good. It's not that I can't eat cupcakes. I can, especially if I take insulin. You just feel guilty when you eat something that's sugary and you're diabetic, so. Oh my god, that icing is so good. I've noticed that with a lot of keto desserts or just low carb desserts, sometimes they're a little dry, but this cupcake is really good. I don't think it's dry at all.
Before she can get to those white picket fences, she had a whole adventure / journey with Levi. And one of the biggest questions I had while reading that whole process was, why was it so hard for her to believe that Levi liked her? So the beginning of the book is her thinking that Levi hates her, and then another big chunk of the book is her thinking that whatever she and Levi has is just casual. And no matter how much we love those steamy scenes in the book, it makes me sad to think that she thought they were only happening because he was only interested in her physically. I mean, I get it after what happened with her parents and what happened with her ex Tim and her best friend. How could you possibly trust someone again after that? Trust that they're not going to cheat on you or leave you. I guess that's why she looked up to Marie Curie so much. Marie's husband Pierre was run over by a carriage and just died, leaving her with 2 kids. She just can't trust that people are going to stick around. In the book, B says that you can't trust they're not going to slip and fall on the Rue Dauphine and be crushed by a horse-drawn cart. Or maybe they'll be kidnapped by aliens or simply vanish into the vastness of space. B calls this the intrinsic transience of human relationships. She even calls love an unstable isotope, constantly undergoing spontaneous nuclear decay. Based on all of this, I don't think her problem was thinking that Levi hated her. I think there was a part of her that just thought the universe hated her. And when you think the universe hates you, you can really only hold on to something that you know will never leave you. And for her, that was science. For a while in my early 20s, I also didn't really believe that I deserved anything good. I was very dramatic back then, but besides the point, my default to anything bad happening to me was to run away because it was just easier to tell myself, I'm gonna run away first before something else can leave me or before something bad can happen to me. I literally flew across the country from Toronto to Edmonton because of that line of thinking. It took me a long time and therapy and a good and decent man to show me that staying put is okay. I didn't even have something to hold on to like B did with science. I was not particularly talented. I was not particularly good at anything. I had my books, but my mindset at the time was, I wish I could escape into these books, not I should be using these books to help improve my life. Right now, I get to live in a world where I just talk about books that I love and what I've read. And I think for B, her happy place is being at NASA and working on Blink.
Let's take a little break from the desserts, pastries, sugary treats, and try this one. So these are vegan, cheesy kale chips, and they are also low carb. You know what? It takes a second to get used to, but it's not bad. I think it's the cheese that's putting me off a little bit.
B finally gets her dream job with NASA after toiling away at the NIH, but there are still so many things in her way to the point that I was frustrated. You finally got your dream job and nothing is going the way you planned. I'm a little extra sensitive about it right now because I'm going through the same thing. I finally finished my secret project and there is just one thing after another that is getting in my way. And it's just so frustrating because I worked so hard over the last year. I thought that was going to be the hardest part, and I'm just realizing now that that was not the hardest part. It's kind of like how when you're pregnant, you feel like being pregnant is the hardest thing ever, and then you have the baby and you realize, oh no, pregnancy is the easy part. Taking care of the baby is the hard part. For me right now, content creation it's not what I expected. It's a lot more time consuming than I thought it was going to be. There are things I am constantly doing wrong, and I'm just reminded of when B had to tell those NASA scientists that the sensors in the helmet were in the wrong place, or that she wasn't getting her computers, or just any number of things that weren't going her way. And I feel the same way at night when I'm editing my videos, and I am constantly coming across issues that I didn't even think of. Like, organizing your content is a beast. There are so many links. You have to write scripts and they all have to be organized. That was a huge learning curve for me. And even just editing, I don't know how to adjust. I don't know how to deal with brightness and hue and saturation. There were just so many things about content creation that I didn't think of when I got into it. But despite all the challenges, she loves her work. She loves blank. And for me, it's kind of the same. I love my secret project. It's like my other baby. I worked so hard on it, and content creation is the only way I know how to support it right now. There is nothing I want more than for my secret project to be successful. Just like for B, I guess, there's nothing she wants more than to make space helmets for astronauts. So I'll create as much content as I can and pray that it gets enough views, and hope that I can build a community large enough to support my secret project in the upcoming months. I guess I just wish I had a Levi in the background pulling the strings, making sure that, I get everything that I want and hopefully deserve. I guess I do have a Levi. I just married mine.
I couldn't find any vegan donuts, so I'm gonna make do with this instead. It is 19 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, so that means it's 17 net carbs. I think a brownie is usually 45 grams of carbs. This is such a treat for me because I don't usually eat this many pastries in one go. I'll treat myself like a little something once a day, but not like this, because the reason being is because I don't want to stab myself that many times. I have contact dermatitis and I bruise really easily, so my stomach right now is a circle of bruises and welts and little rashes. So I try to keep most of my meals very low carb to avoid the insulin needle. The only time I really take insulin is for dinner, because I do still need carbs. It's not healthy for me or the baby to withhold carbs completely. So this is such a treat. Wow. I feel like a regular pregnant woman right now that can just eat whatever she wants. I'm so happy.
A really big theme in the book is being a woman in a male-dominated industry. I wish I could relate to that, but I used to work as a speech therapy assistant at an elementary school, and it was all women. I think there were 3 male teachers inside the whole building. So I'm not gonna try to understand the struggles of what that's like. That would be incredibly ignorant of me. What I can relate to is B wanting a happy place for herself. In the book, she says that her Twitter account evolved into a therapeutic community, and I love that because that is exactly what I'm trying to build here. I want to be able to quote unquote bitch about the issues in my life, and I want others to feel comfortable enough to do the same. That's why I share a lot about myself on this channel, so that you can feel comfortable leaving comments. I also want to be able to exchange thoughts on the books we read and the books we love, because that is what this space is for. I found her obsession with Marie Curie really refreshing, because we live in a world where influencers have these beautiful lives and we're so enamored and enchanted by it. And for her to look up to a scientist like Marie Curie is kind of like what I'm doing with my books, right? I'm looking for characters in books that I can look up to instead of influencers on social media. I like how much B knows about Marie Curie. She idolizes her right down to the lab coat on her wedding day, which was such a cute detail. I wonder how differently my life would have turned out if I let books influence me earlier, instead of letting influencers I see on Instagram and TikTok mess with my head. This is a really small example, but Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain, The Love Hypothesis, just reading them got me a little more interested in science. And I am not a girl who enjoyed math or science at all. In high school, I did terribly in both subjects, but after reading these books, I started gaining an appreciation for science, and that's why I started listening to the Science Versus podcasts. I like how curious I am now. I am definitely a more curious person after reading more books, and I'm enjoying that about myself. B says that her curiosity never abandoned her, and while her abandonment issues are noted, what I want to take away from this Characters and Cravings episode is to always be curious, to stay curious. And if you're not a curious person, it's not innate. You can learn to be more curious. One of the ways curiosity has positively impacted my life is that my husband and I have so much to talk about now. He's always been a very curious person. He loves reading articles and, learning new things. And I would just kind of sit there and listen. I wouldn't have much to participate. And now that I am learning all these new things and I'm on a self-improvement kick, I can actually contribute and I can tell him things that he doesn't know. And that feels good, because for a minute there, the only thing that my husband and I could talk about was our son. And again, while we love our son very much, we just don't want that to be our entire life.
Last treat of the day are these raspberry squares. They are surprisingly only 2 net carbs per square. I was very shocked. As you can see, the crust is really dense. I don't know if you can see that. The raspberry flavor is very subtle. Wow, that's so good. I can't believe that's only 2 carbs. I still have 4 more in the fridge. I'm probably gonna need to eat this at breakfast or something every day until the box is done. And I'm not complaining. This is delicious.
The last thing I want to talk about today is standardized testing. It is a very big topic in Love on the Brain. And this was a sore spot for me, because I hate it when people say this, but I did not test well. And I know it sounds like an excuse. It's like, oh, just study more. Like, don't say that you don't test well, just study more. But I don't think my brain worked the same way as everybody else's. I would study for hours and hours and hours on end. I would try to commit everything to memory, and I would look at my test page and my brain would go blank. And it sucks, because it was like, I know what the answer is. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I just couldn't recall it from the deep valleys of my brain folds. It was so frustrating. But when it came to some of the more practical questions, when it came to stuff like that, I would do great. But when it came to just recalling cold hard facts, I just wasn't good at it. And to see that they took such a stance and made such a change towards standardized testing, I wish that had happened to me. I wish I had the opportunity to be a part of something like that, because I'm sure there are so many people out there that just don't learn, don't study the same way as everyone else. I'm especially learning that now. I feel like standardized testing really punished my brain for not thinking the same way as everyone else. And one of the consequences of that was it removed some of the creativity, it removed some of the curiosity. Why bother being curious about things? Why bother learning these things if I'm not going to be able to remember it anyways? If you feel like going through high school, going through university really left a bad taste in your mouth for learning, I really encourage you try again and try learning your way. Learning is not about tests. That took me so long to realize. When you're an adult in your mid to late 20s, early 30s, even beyond that, learning is not about testing anymore. Learning is for yourself. Learning is so that you feel better. And I feel great right now. I feel like I have so much to offer in life because I am curious about everything and I want to learn everything now. And not just what, I guess back then, what my teachers want me to learn. I'm learning things that I want to learn, and I'm learning it on my own terms, and I love it. It's great. So if standardized testing has put you off from that, I really encourage you to try again. And if you are struggling to figure out how to start, let me know. Please comment, and I can tell you what I've been doing on my self-improvement kick to encourage learning every day. So that is it for this week's Characters and Cravings episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Even with all the editing and content creation struggles I'm going through right now, I do enjoy doing this. I can honestly say that writing the scripts for each of these episodes has been surprisingly easy. When it comes to content creation, you shouldn't have to push yourself to do it. There should be something that pulls you in.
That is Character and Cravings for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.